Hello everyone, welcome to Pitch Perfect Podcast. If you're new to this channel, please make sure you like, share, comment, and more importantly, subscribe to our channel. Joining us today, we have Pete. Hi Pete.
Hey, thanks for having me, appreciate it.
Jane. Hi Jane.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And the famous County. Hi Jane County.
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Very good, thank you so much. In today's podcast, we'll be talking about the fact that Fulham destroy Tottenham and support the party of the top four. Don't get it wrong. Right, guys. The game between Fulham and Tottenham. What do you think of that game?
A very good game for us. As a Fulham fan, I'm very happy, very pleased with the 3 points. I think with Spurs, they struggled the whole game. I think Fulham dominated. In the high line that Spurs tried to play, didn't work. We exploited it very well with the players like Willian, Rodrigo Muniz, of course, and Joao Paulinho, of course, playing those through balls over the top, down the middle. I think it was very confident and a very complex game from Fulham, and I think overall we deserved to win.
I just think you deserve to win.
100%. I don't think anyone could disagree.
But I mean, I watched Spurs play. There's a lack of consistency there.
Yeah, I've noticed it as well. I'm a Chelsea fan. When they played against us, same thing, the high line. And as soon as the team finds that out, they play the through ball and they realise, their defence is on the halfway line.
Yeah.
They just keep doing it. And one thing about Tottenham I've noticed with Ange, he's not going to change. So when they had the 2 red cards against Chelsea, they were still on the halfway line. Which is it's crazy because you have to make adaptations to the game. And he's doing great as a manager, but it's a flaw that he's not willing to change his tactics regardless of the circumstances. And if we're being fair, respect to Fulham, Tottenham's team is by far better than Fulham's, in my opinion. And
Do you think so?
yeah, I think player for player, the only Fulham player I think could maybe start for Tottenham.
Paulinho. I'd argue Robinson as well. Gets in over a doggy. Robinson, Paulinho. I'd also say Leno starts over Vicario. I think yesterday I think he does. We look at the stats. The stats. I know we faced.
So did what do you think?
Vicario, come on, he's had a great season.
Yeah, he has a good season. Yeah.
If it weren't for him in that game, they would have lost by a lot more.
True, they would have lost by a lot more.
I would say watching that game, Spurs were kind of a bit disrespectful towards Fulham.
But they started very well, right?
Yeah,
I mean, when we saw the beginning of the game, we thought, okay, this might be a walk in the park for Spurs.
Yeah, there was that at the very beginning, but then Fulham gained confidence, momentum, and then once the chances started flowing for Fulham, Tottenham they looked clueless. It's like they didn't know how to cope with Fulham or what to do with Fulham.
So do you think it was down to the manager? Maybe the manager has, couldn't do anything, or he lacks, changing plan and
backup plan. I think
the backup plan.
Yeah.
Because when you go, I believe when you go to the game, you go with the plan A, plan B, plan C.
Yes.
And you just readjust as it goes. But I was a little disappointed with the results, especially when Fulham starts scoring.
Yeah.
I think you two are underestimating Fulham a little bit. I think at home, we're very strong. We've in the last 9 games we've lost 2.
Yeah.
We've got the most informed striker in the league at the moment. You can argue Watkins is more informed than him, but we have Rodrigo Muniz.
Do you think how do you rate him? I mean,
he's just got back to potential.
Yeah.
I said it when he first joined Fulham. He was 19. You could see he had talent there. He just needed time, and last season was very hard for him. He couldn't get into the Middlesbrough team, but this season, he's when he was playing games before his injury that he had, he picked it up against Man United at home. He came back and then he scored. I think he scored a goal against Man United away. So he's come full circle, and I'm very happy that we have someone. And I think now we've found our replacement in Mitrovic, and he was meant to be the Mitrovic replacement when he was leaving. And I don't think we need to sign anyone else.
I mean, his second goal, the guy was so aggressive.
Hungry to get the goal.
Yeah, he just didn't give a chance to the defender to defend that ball.
That's him this season. I think some of the goals against Aston Villa we lost 2-1, but the goal he scored, and you watch back the game, it was a shot. It got saved by Martinez, and Nunes was the first person to respond, the first person to get to that ball. And
he was right there, aggressive. There. This is my ball. I want his ball. I want to score a goal.
He's not scared to get his body in the way.
Yeah.
And I think that's a sign of someone that could go far in their career. He's only 22, of course. He nearly got called up by Brazil. Unfortunately, didn't get called up. But
it's kind of a little bit hard for him to get that.
But I think in the next few years you could see. I think he's got the potential to definitely start for the Brazilian national team, in my opinion.
What do you think of Rodrigo?
As a football fan in general, I like to keep an eye on many different players, and for him, even last season, it was really hard on him to go to Middlesbrough and effectively not get any game time. For any player, that's really difficult. And to see his strong mentality despite that and still bounce back and find his place in this Fulham first team as their main first choice.
It shows hard work and determination.
It shows that mental strength that not many players have. So I think it's impressive to see a player bounce back from hardship, and now is scoring 7 out of his last 7 games.
7 goals in 7,
Here's the problem. It's good to score goals, right? And he's doing the right thing. But do you think Fulham might struggle to keep him?
I don't think we will.
Because every Chelsea is looking for a goal machine. City is looking for. That's my only concern there.
I think with him, I think he's very he's got a lot of gratitude to our club. We signed him when he was 19, came from Flamengo.
But you think gratitude has nothing to do with your business?
But I think with this, he's a type of player that I think he knows when he's ready for the step up, he'll take the step up. Yeah, we need to remember that last season he didn't get game time in the league below. He's only just started scoring for us. So I think next season, if he has a good season, then he might be looking like, okay, I need to move up now. But I think now he's found his home. He said that he feels at home here. I think with a club like Chelsea, of course, they're looking for a talented striker that can score goals, but I think they want a world-class striker. Chelsea are missing a world-class striker. I don't think he's world-class.
So you don't think Jackson is a world-class striker?
Not right now, no.
No.
Not right now.
But does he have the potential to be?
Yeah, he has the potential to be. I think throughout the season, Jackson has improved massively. I think it's 16 goals and assists this season himself, which is pretty impressive for a striker that's only played 3 years of senior football. So I think Jackson right now, he ain't world class, but he does have the potential to be world class.
Yeah, do you think so, big?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not too keen on Jackson. Right?
Okay.
I think
it's not your cup of tea.
No. He's a bit like he's very raw, and we've got Datro Fofana who's out on loan at Burnley.
Yeah.
I think Fofana's better than Jackson personally.
I do think so.
I think so, and he just wasn't given a chance.
So why did you send him on loan then?
There's a lot of things wrong with Chelsea.
I think with Chelsea they may have underestimated him a bit in the fact that they bought Jackson for so much money that if they just keep Fofana there and he does better than Jackson, it looks bad on the owners. I think sending that Fofana, for the owner point of view,
but the owner doesn't make that decision. I think the manager, that's the manager decision. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It comes down to both of them. I think also with the owners and with Bowley and Abel Harley, as you said, they're all business based. So if they're the ones that requested Jackson and they're the ones that got Jackson to the club. So if their 35, however money it was, I think it was 35 million, flops, and they have Fofana, who they don't want there, perform well, it looks bad on them. That's not them doing their job properly. But at Fofana at Burnley, I think he scored 4 goals. Yeah. He's keeping Burnley in games. I remember when Fulham were 2-0 up against Burnley, he scored twice to equalise, and we ended up drawing that game. We were winning comfortably, and then Fofana came on. He looked like an impressive player. So I think next season will be interesting for Chelsea for sure.
If you have a choice to make between Rodrigo and Jackson, who would you pick?
Muniz.
All
It's to me.
day, every day.
To me, it's easy. I think with Jackson, he's got a lot of qualities. I'm not underestimating him. He's, in my opinion, he's got the potential to be world class. I don't rate him now, but you can see he's raw, like he's trying. And the same thing happened with Rodrigo Muniz. His first season in English football. You know, we had Mitrovic at the club, and he scored 43 goals that season, Mitrovic. And Muniz, even though he didn't play, he still scored 8 goals in his first season in English football. And in the Championship, 8 goals for someone that hasn't played in England before is very impressive. And you've seen this season, he's not scared to get onto the first ball. He's not scared to get onto the final ball. He wins most of his aerial drills. He battles with everyone. He's not scared to. He's not shy. He doesn't shy away from tackles. He's in there, strong, aggressive. And that's why I think personally. I mean, you really like. I love it. I think he's.
I think he's full of quality. Yeah, the potentials, are there, but I don't think he's really maybe for the top teams.
Not yet. Muniz, not yet.
Yeah, he's 22, right?
Yeah, I think as you said, Steve, not ready for top teams yet, and I think that's why he'll stay at Fulham, because I think he knows that Fulham are wanting a striker to replace Mitrovic, and if he can be the man to replace Mitrovic without having to buy another striker, I think he knows, right, if I keep performing now, my spot is nail bent to start next season. So Fulham don't need to worry about getting another striker in. I'm here. We've got Jimenez as well that was scoring goals before he got injured. So I think, again, as I said, if he scores the same amount of goals next season, if not more, in the more games that he obviously will have next season, then you may see him going for bigger clubs. But right now, he's not ready yet.
Let's talk a little bit about Spurs. Yes, like I mentioned earlier, I'm very disappointed because I'm not trying to say Fulham is not a good team, right? But when you're fighting for the top 4, games against Fulham should be, keep one.
Yeah, I think when you look at Spurs, it should be 3 points for the score they have. But at the same time, I think when you come to Craven Cottage, it's always very difficult. We've seen last season teams came to Craven Cottage and lost, like Chelsea. We hadn't beat Chelsea since 2006, and we beat them last season. And the majority of our wins this season have come at home. We're a very strong team at home. The fans support the team and they rally around the fans supporting them. And away, I think you look at away form, we're bottom of the league in away form. But if you look at home form, we're 8th in the league. So I think any team that comes to Craven Cottage will be wary that we are a lot better at home because the fans are behind us and we have to make it a fortress, and we have done this season. So you look at the teams, I think on paper you can say it should be an easy for Spurs, but in the whole overall picture, I think any team that will come to Craven Cottage will struggle.
So how can Spurs bounce back from this?
I mean, they have to win. They have to keep winning now, and that's it. Because they played great last week against Aston Villa. Yeah. They beat Aston Villa. I think it's 4-0. 4-0. 4-0.
But this is what I'm talking about, being inconsistent.
It's up and down for them.
In the last 5 games, I believe they won 3 games out of 5. But you have to hit your target. You have to make sure you keep winning games if you want to be in the top 4. Yeah. And I don't see it.
No, me too.
To be honest, I don't see it. So I don't know how can they bounce back from this.
The manager needs to have a backup plan. They've got the quality on the pitch. They have some great players. I think Vicario is a very good keeper. I like Pedro Porro a lot. Udogie at left back, I think he's fantastic. Son, of course, everyone knows Son is a top player. So they've got the talent. It's just the manager needs to have a backup plan when the high line isn't working.
Yeah.
Against the team that exploits it, like Fulham did, like when Chelsea did even. Like, you need to have an alternative plan, play a slightly different style while still going for the win, going for the result. Because you can't play the same tactic against every team because not every team will face you the same way. So, Burnley will approach you different to how Fulham do, and they'll approach you different to how Manchester City will. So you have to be able to adapt, and I think that's what separates the top managers from those below.
I believe so. I mean, the manager, I think he should have been able to readjust as the game was moving forward. Let's move to West Ham against Aston Villa. Again, I'm disappointed. Right? I think Aston Villa played after the result of Fulham v Spurs. But again, I'm not trying to push West Ham down. If you want to be in the top 4, if that's what you want to do, you have to win those games.
Yeah.
Big disappointment from Aston Villa.
Yeah, because I think maybe the Tottenham result played on their mind a bit. Maybe they went into the Aston Villa game just a bit too
overconfident.
Overconfident.
Yeah.
You know, with West Ham, they've had a really good season under David Moyes. I feel David Moyes has had a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Even though they're sitting in top 7, top 8. You know, 7th in the league, in the Premier League. So I think it was never not going to be like a walk in the park, because we know West Ham at home on their day are very good.
So you don't think it was? But again, it doesn't matter. You have to win. You have to find a way. This is the difference between the top team, like you said earlier, and average teams. Right? As a top team, you, regardless how you do it,
you find a way.
You found a way to win, and I think this is where Aston Villa missed the opportunity to be, you know, maybe in the safest zone.
Yeah. If you, like you said, if you want to harbour ambitions to play in the Champions League, games like West Ham, it has to be 3 points. A draw's not good enough, because if Villa would have won, it would have gone into their control, and they would have, between now and the end of the season, would have controlled who gets Champions League. But now, because they didn't win, it's now more 50-50, and we know that Tottenham's squad, for me, is better than the Aston Villa squad. So it makes
but having a better squad doesn't guarantee results, right? Because when on paper, like Kante said earlier, it just could have been one of the easiest games for Spurs, you know, when you just look on paper. But the result says it otherwise, you know. So you have to win first. You have to find a way to win.
Always have to find a way.
Yeah, that's what winners do, right? You have to find a way to win. How do you predict the top 4?
I think at the moment it's very tough. You know, some teams have 9 games left, some teams have 8 games left. I think Chelsea have 11 games left. So
you think Chelsea?
I don't think they are. I'm just saying. Just saying. Mathematically, you know, we've seen when Chelsea are on form and when they do play well. They look like one of the better teams in the league when they play well. I think you could agree. When Chelsea are on their day, they could beat anyone in this league. But as you said, it's down to consistency. And I think with Chelsea, you know, I don't think top 4 is realistic, but I think maybe 5th could be realistic. If they can perform like they have done in the last few weeks, when they're getting these, you know, big wins recently. If they can perform like that from now until the end of the season, because they've got 2 games in hand on everyone else, so that's 2 wins, and I think they're 3 points off 5th, which could be a Champions League spot. So I think the top 4, I think nailed bent. You got Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. I think those 3, there's no debate there. Top 3. I think the final one for me for 4th spot, I think the point for Villa yesterday, even though they should have won, it's still a big point, because if they would have lost, the pressure on them now...
My concern is a game of 3 points.
It's a game of 3 points, but it's a point. It's a point. It may be 2 points lost, but it's still a point gained. Tottenham lost, so they lost 3 points. Villa gained the point.
Tottenham has a game in hand.
They have got a game in hand, but at the same time, Villa gained the point and Spurs lost. So I think if Tottenham win that game in hand, Villa still have the upper hand, as they are still ahead of them. So I think you're looking at, for me, I think Villa get top. I think they get 4th, just down to the fact that Postecoglou, as he said, he doesn't want to change. He's stubborn. One thing that stuck with me after the game, when he got interviewed after the Fulham game, and he said it's not about results, it's about performances. And like, as a manager, fair enough. You can talk about performances, but at the end of the day, football is a results game. You need results, you need wins, you need points to get where you want to be. You can't just lose a game and go, it's down to results. It's not down.
Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done it yet, please make sure you like, share, comment, and more importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Bye.